like all of my family kind of look up to me to take care of their kids. Ugh.
Oh.
And sorry.
No, you can cry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Grain of Salt. If you're wondering why we're wearing the same outfits as last week, it's because we're filming it on the same day. And if you're wondering why she's wearing the same outfit as 2 weeks ago, it's because she literally just happened to do that.
It's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
Like, I didn't realize.
We're kind of matching.
Huh?
Because we're both wearing green.
Oh,
that's the only reason.
Yeah.
My pants would be so... You could fit in a one pant leg of my pants.
Bitch.
And have extra room.
No. I don't think so. I think... No.
You could do like the commercial. It's like, I lost 93 pounds.
Yeah. Just feel better about myself.
Just buy an extra, like a huge pair of pants to like...
Yeah.
With the money from the commercial.
Yeah,
I literally did a Vine about that when I was like 15.
Really?
Oh, wait, 13. Vine wasn't around when I was 15.
16, 13.
That's after I retired. What are we talking about today, Miss Melisa?
We're talking about relationships.
Ooh.
Wow.
We definitely never talked about this before.
No, we definitely have not.
You apparently have a great way to start out this episode. So go right ahead. Oh my God. Are those notes?
Yeah, this is all like podcast like shit.
Jesus Christopher.
Well, remember I told you this one.
What's that one?
Sure. That when I freaked out when I smoked that at night. And like I was like having all these thoughts. Cause I was leaving before Washington.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so I can't remember like what I was like watching, but they were like, oh, you know when people say like it's not worth like the fight, like pick your battles.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize it was like. I thought it was just like kind of get over it, and like. Just kind of don't deal with it. Like I was just like, okay, like whatever.
That is kind of how it sounds.
But I didn't realize that it was like, you know, you can do these small things for your partner to make them happy. And like, it's not going to make you the happiest person ever, but you can still do it like for your partner because you know that your partner like
a compromise.
Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, like in my brain, I was just like, it doesn't like,
It sounded to you like bottling it up.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
a compromise.
Yeah.
Well, what is the difference there? Because aren't you bottling it up as the compromise?
Yeah, but you're like, it's kind of like doing it for a reason. You're not just like, whatever, like my feelings don't matter. You're just like, you know, this would make my partner happy.
Yeah.
Like, why not just do it? It's this small little thing. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. And we should say that if you're new here, which we have the same 5 listeners, but if you're new here,
literally,
you are dating somebody. I am dating somebody.
Yes.
We're both gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I was watching Stephanie Sue. I don't know if you know her. She's like a murder mystery podcast.
She's like a murderer.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
just a little bit.
I forget, like her and her husband like are just so like relationship goals. Like actually. They like
on the internet.
Yeah. They just got married like not that long ago after like fucking 15 years of being together.
Damn.
Which is crazy. But like I was
like
watching
90?
Yeah.
They don't remember their vows.
I can't remember how old like they actually are. But they're like they were saying their wedding vows to each other and stuff, and it was like literally so cute. I was sobbing.
You were?
Yeah, literally sobbing. It was actually so cute. Like you should watch it. Like even just that vlog is really cute.
Aww.
But
their wedding vlog?
Yeah. And it was like, I think I was watching that and I was like, she was saying something about that, like before, she like took a video before they were getting married and like telling him like all these things, basically. It was like a video for him. And I was like, you know, I never realized that like even that small little thing could really like, for your partner mean the world.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, probably just me being fucking selfish and shit. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, you know.
You're not selfish.
Yeah, I know, but it's like sometimes that's how I feel if I do it very like often, you know.
People have selfish moments.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as you like check yourself.
Yeah, for sure. But I was just like, that's something that never really clicked with me, and then I feel like watching them too is kind of like changing my perspective and like my own relationship, because I'm like like they've been together for so long and they still have like these arguments that are still like the same as when like you're like in the beginning of your relationship.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and it's still like she's like, we do this all the time, but now we know how to deal with it, and we're not like whatever
prolonging it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Making it worse than it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be interesting to like if we were to listen back on the relationship episode we did, because that was probably what 9 months ago or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Like that, we probably have some different perspectives.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I feel like
it's ever growing.
Literally, because I feel like for me at least, seeing like my parents' like relationship and like
your parents are still together.
Yes,
mine
they
are
are
divorced.
Yeah, sucks for you. I'm just kidding.
No, there's money. I'm just kidding.
Privileges.
There is though. This is not divorce. It's because I'm white.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. But
a lot of money lost in divorce.
What?
There's a lot of money lost in divorce.
Yeah.
That shit's expensive.
No, for sure.
To say bye.
No, literally.
It's an expensive bye.
Yeah, I think I was talking to my mom about like her sister's divorce with my uncle, and she was like she literally would tell me like, even just talking about the case with your lawyer, he's charging you.
That's crazy.
Like it doesn't even matter.
It's legal advice.
Yeah, she's like, it doesn't even matter like if you're on the phone, if you're in the courtroom, if you're outside in your car, like
even if you're on the phone.
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
It's time that like he's taking out of his day to help you on your case.
That's true. Yeah,
I was like, that is fucking
and
crazy.
that's not cheap time.
No,
that's fucking.
It's like $1,000 a minute time.
Legal stuff is so expensive. I remember like seeing the bills from my like for my dad in the
But you were older
mail.
too, right?
Yeah, well, I was 16 when they split. Yeah. And then I don't know when it finalized or like that kind of stuff, but they're both with new people and they've both been with new people before. Like it's been a while. Yeah. So yeah.
But
how long have your parents been married? My parents were married for like 20 years and then they got divorced.
My parents, I think, because my mom was pregnant with me when she got married.
Oh, really?
She was 18.
And you're the oldest, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So about like 21 years.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, I have asked my mom before. I was like, do you think you could have like patched things up or like, because there were certain things that happened in the marriage, and I was like, did you guys have good times after those things? She's like, yeah. And God, I forgot what she said to like, if we like, you know, were more persistent, like, could we have saved the marriage? And yeah, I don't remember what she said, but it's like, I could definitely see it being a yes.
Yeah, I feel like, especially being with someone for so long, not even just being married, but even dating before that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's still a connection there. Yeah. But it's like, it's not a connection that can keep going and us keep fighting and then just like being like, oh, it's fine, like a dandy, you know? Like when there's obvious things that like bother people. Yeah. And like, you're just like, I can't just get over that. Or stuff like that.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I necessarily agree. Yeah. But I think there's such a power to working through things together that like, because I was talking to Fern recently and I go, you know, because we've definitely gone through some ups and downs. Yeah. But I said, and one of them, I mentioned two things. I won't say the first one for his sake, but fuck you, Fern.
Yeah, fuck you, Fern.
But the second one was my OCD. That's definitely been like a challenge for us to deal with in the relationship. And I said, you know, if it wasn't for this thing and my OCD, I'm not sure if we would be moving in together at 10 months. Because we've been together less than a year. And I mean, we're sitting in our apartment now. Yeah. But isn't that crazy? Yes. And he agreed. He was like, like, and I think like even it's just like an individual, like, for sure, like challenge, like for yourself, like getting through those hard moments can turn into something so like equally and more like degree of beautiful.
For sure.
And I think that totally translates into relationships. So like,
yeah.
Like, not that I'd be like, oh, yay, we're having, like, huge problems.
Yeah,
but, like, part of me would be like that, like, maybe deep down.
Yeah.
But I think, and then, like, once you look back at the, you know, challenges you've been through together and how you've grown together, I think that is so special.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
And I feel like, I think I always, like, tell people, like, at least about your guys' relationship, because not, like, kidding. Just, like, like,
the gossip.
Yeah, no. I'm just like, you know, like every relationship, I think we always say this to each other, especially.
Yes.
But we're like, every relationship
exactly
is so different.
Yes.
And I'm like me and Rachel have been together for like 2.5 years now.
Right.
You guys have only been together for 2 months. Not 2 months, sorry.
Damn.
10 months.
We moved in fast.
Yeah. And I'm like our dynamic is so different, but it's because our personalities are like how we grew up.
Yeah.
All that stuff is so different. I feel like you and Fern are very mature. You guys are very well spoken and
Thank you.
You guys, yeah. I was like, you guys still have like your moments where you kind of lash out and like do all that stuff, but at the end,
not necessarily a lot of lashing out, but definitely like, you know, disagreements, just things to work through.
Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like I'm still very like immature and like how I express my emotions.
Really?
Because I feel like
I'm the same way.
Really?
Not necessarily like now, but I have a definite history of like being like that.
And because I feel like it definitely has to do like how you grow up, like how when you were younger, like, how you dealt with shit.
Yeah, we've mentioned inner child.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Yeah,
in our relationship.
And it's kind of crazy because like every time me and like Rachel get into an argument, I don't know if this is healthy or not, but I'm always like, this is just looking like my dad. Like I'm just reacting like my dad. I'm just like, you're wrong.
We were just talking about this kind of thing yesterday.
Really?
Like breaking the cycle of generational like
trauma, basically.
Yeah, trauma or behaviors or, you know, however you want to like go about explaining it for your individual self. Like there's cycles that continue through generations.
Yeah, for sure. And
it takes a very like specific person, and like it takes just effort. Like I feel like anyone can do it. Like not necessarily a specific person, but yeah, it does take effort and it's not gonna be easy. Yeah, to break those, and like I feel like everybody has them. Yeah. So like you don't need to solve absolutely everything.
Yeah, exactly.
To like in those cycles, but like to put it, because we were talking about like I was like, oh, like if my kid ever had like OCD, like it would be so hard to see him go through that, knowing that, because I didn't know that OCD wasn't like, it could be to an extent, but like hereditary, genetic or whatever, however you say it, but it's more like morphed in childhood, like created in childhood, and I did not know that. Yeah. So credit to Fern for teaching me a lot of shit over the last year, because like there's a like inner child, like I never really thought about that before, and like where OCD originated for me. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty wild to learn this stuff about yourself, and anyone can do it. There's so many for sure resources out there. Last night, believe it or not, I was like, Fern like handed me a book, and like I was reading it, and like I was low-key like, I could read this, like maybe like I do like having the audio, but like there is also something like kind of zen about like being in silence and reading a book. Yeah, for sure. Kind of nice. Yeah, I just feel like my attention span might not be like
I can't,
it's kind of shot.
It's not even my attention span, my just literacy.
Oh really?
Like I'm not good at it.
I feel like I just get like, I don't know, I lose focus easily.
Yeah, I can read manga because it has pictures and words. Yeah, it's a picture book basically. Yeah.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, that taught me a lot about my inner child.
Yeah, exactly.
My cabin fever.
But yeah, I really like look back on like other issues that me and Rachel had when they were like totally blown out of proportion. And I feel like both of us still like have a lot of work to do on that, because I think everybody, you know, like you just kind of cycle back to what you used to do, because it's very hard, I think, at least for me, like, because I react so fast to things.
Me too. I need to take a moment to think,
especially like when they like
sometimes
keep
that's
pushing you when they keep pushing you to like be like, just talk about it. It's like, I don't want to, because I'm going to say something
that you regret,
that I'm going to regret, and you're going to get mad, and this is just not going to get resolved. And I've kind of learned to really dial back and be like, okay, I need to sit back for a moment and think, but also not take too long, because she's the type of person.
Balance. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
She's the type of person that kind of wants to fix it then. And so I have to learn how to compromise both of those things. Yeah.
Which is good to want to take care of it, but that's what I'm saying. And it's a delicate balance of like, you don't want to speak, you know, impulsively, but you don't want to bottle it up.
Yeah. And I feel like, at least how I grew up, like anytime I did anything wrong or I felt something that, you know, was different than other people, or like my parents was like, why are you feeling that way? You shouldn't be feeling that way. It's like,
invalidation.
But I'm like, and so I'm like, okay, so what I think, what I feel doesn't matter. I'll just get over it. And so I get over things very quickly. I'll think about them all the time, but
do you think you actually get over them though?
No, I don't.
They're just sitting back there unaddressed.
They're just sitting in the back, and I'm just like, you know what? Just forget about it. And then like we have another argument, and that shoots back up, and I'm just like, dude, like you did this last time, and like, you know, that keeps going, and it makes the fucking situation so much worse than it's supposed to be.
And we could take this out if you want, but I've heard you talk about like you'll have moments where you just kind of like break down out of the blue. At least one that I've heard of.
No, I think.
Are you okay with me leaving that?
No,
in?
That's totally fine.
She breaks down, guys.
Yeah. No, I do that a lot. I did it even yesterday.
You did it yesterday?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like last night, because I was just so tired, and like she was totally not tired, and I was like trying to tell her, I was like, I really don't feel like doing anything right now. Like I just want to lay down. I just want to sleep. Yeah. And she's like, no, but like this and this. I'm like, I don't want to. And then she got mad, and then like kind of like she was like, okay, let me take my space. But she's the type of person that does that, and she wants me to be like, come back. And like I don't mind that, but but I'm just like, for me, like if someone does that, I feel like they don't want to be with me right now. Yeah. Because that's what I would do. If I walk away, it's because I don't want to be like near you right now, because I'm going to say some shit, or you're going to do something that's going to trigger me, and I'm going to do all these things. I'm just like, I'd rather just leave it alone, whatever. Yeah. And then it just gets like exponentially worse. Yeah. But I've like, especially recently, I've done a lot better job, I think, personally, to really think about what I say. There's sometimes where I still like, I'm like, oh, but you did this. And that's not going to help. Yeah. Because it's like, you're just like fueling the fire, you know?
We are like big on teamwork. Yeah. Like I saw something recently that, I mean, it just seems so simple, but sometimes people try to make things so complex that going back to the simplicity of something just makes it so much easier to understand. Oh, for sure. And it was just like, if you're not working together towards a common goal, like it should not be a competition, like where you're against each other. Like it sounds so like fucking duh, but like I feel like it's easy to lose track of like,
for sure,
the simple explanations for something, because you're trying so hard to figure out, like you're just overthinking it.
Yeah. And I feel like I kind of contradict myself in the way I am, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to talk this out. Like, I'll just get it done. I'm explaining what I'm feeling. But then at the same time, I'm kind of invalidating her feelings, being like, this is why you shouldn't feel like this. And I think that's how it goes back to, like, how I used to deal with things. Because my parents used to be like, that doesn't matter, though. Like, this is what we meant. Like, you don't need to be mad. Yeah. And so... And then, like, I push that on her. And then that's not obviously fair for her, you know? And it's, like, I feel like a lot of the things I do really like affect like the relationship and how like not the relationship but how we deal with things like that. And I'm trying more to really like be like, okay, like shut this down right now because it's not gonna help. Like it's just gonna make things a lot worse.
We definitely have moments like that, and like it's like we're big on teamwork, but we could totally be better at it. And I think that's an ever growing you know,
for sure
process of like, okay, like this is a new type of situation, like what can we do to be a team here?
Especially when it's like I've been in relationships before, but I've never gone this far like into a relationship where it's like a totally different like cycle. My dad kind of instilled in me that I need to do things on my own, that I'm not always going to have someone there to help me through things. And obviously that's the whole point of a partner. You know, it's like your partner's supposed to help you through things.
I think like, there's like a common misconception of like, especially, well, like I wasn't living, you know, before, but like it just seems like nowadays at least that there's a heightened like push for, oh, you got to be your own self and like be content by yourself and stuff, to where like when people get in relationships, like they're scared to be
vulnerable
at all on anybody else. And I think, you know, there is a level of dependence where it's like, okay, that's too much. But there's also, and I think this is where Ferd and I kind of came into a conflict towards the beginning of our relationship, is he was too little dependent and I was too dependent. So it created like, and he has that an avoidant. Well, that's what the little dependence was, like an avoidant attachment style. So he's, you know, and that goes back to childhood. It's like, I don't want to be, you know, abandoned like I was in childhood. And I just don't want to relive that. So I'm going to run from this person, even though they care about me. And there's been some tough conversations and tough times. And I think that could definitely have played a part into where we are now in our relationship, which is strong.
I think every time we talk about our relationships, we're always like, you and Rachel are so alike, me and Fern are so alike. And I don't know whether it has to do with like our culture, how we grew up. Like me and Fern, because we're Mexican.
It is interesting that Rachel and I are both white and you and Fern are both Hispanic.
So
I could totally have something to do with it.
And I think Rachel, to clarify, Rachel is Hispanic too.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, her mom is like fully Mexican.
Sorry, Raquel.
But
her mom's fully Mexican?
Yeah. She's like from Sinaloa. Like
no way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm the only whitey.
Yes, but her mom is very different from a regular Mexican like tradition, and I think that's her breaking the generational like, you know, trauma and stuff, which is really good for her. But once we come together, it's very hard because I'm like, I know she will never understand like what I feel when my parents say like certain things, or like when
even though
things,
she's lived it and broke it.
Yes,
she lived it in her childhood and broke it.
No, she didn't. She never lived it because her mom broke it.
Oh, I see.
So it's like she gets it from her dad, but her mom backs her up. You know, and so it's like she has someone that supported her like through all that stuff, and you know she has her own trauma on her own. And you know she has every family has issues. But we have different issues, and I can understand her issues because I kind of went through that with my dad as well. But like with the whole like being Mexican and not being able to go out because you're a woman, you can't do this because you're a woman, you need to be respectful to these people because you're their elders, like all that stuff. Like she gets it, but she's like, just like don't do it. I'm like, that's very hard for me to break too. And I think not to like be like, oh poor me, but like I think I have a lot of pressure, at least with my family, because my like all of my family kind of look up to me to take care of their kids. Ugh.
Oh.
And sorry.
No, you can cry.
I don't want to, because then I can't speak. Okay.
No, do you want to take a break?
No, it's okay.
Here. Are you okay?
No, it's okay.
Oh, I love you.
But yeah, I always felt very judged from like literally anybody in my family. And like even my parents, when I like first came out, my mom was like, no, like there's no way, and da da da, like you're so young, like there's no way you know how you feel. And then my dad was very like accepting. He was like, you know, like,
oh, really?
He was like, I saw you with your like the person at the time, and like, you know what, like whatever. And like I didn't know this before. I'm pretty sure I talked about this, but like we went out and he was like, oh, you don't want to invite this person? And then I was like, no, like it's okay, like it's fine. But it like me and my cousin even talked about this yesterday, but the way like even my cousins come to me for everything, and I'm like I'm like grateful that they have that trust in me and stuff, but sometimes it definitely does get like a lot, because then I'm like I have pressure from them and then pressure from their parents to like guide them in the right way, but I'm like,
you're like, I'm only one person.
Yeah, I was like, I can't control what they do either. Like if they want to go fuck around, like I can tell them like, hey, like that's not right. Yeah, but then they'll be like, oh well, like Melissa probably told you or stuff like that, or like, because I've gotten that from some people, and I'm just like, if you're sending your child to me for advice, I'm gonna tell them what I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell them what you want me to tell them. Like if they want to be their own person, they don't want to listen to you anymore, you're being like homophobic and transphobic, like I'm not gonna tell them your parents are right. Yeah, you know, like that's just not me. And they parents. Yeah, and they know me, and they know like my stance on a lot of things, and I'm just like, you're like, what do you think I'm gonna say? Yeah, and I just like stuff like that, like I always kind of have pressure on me, and I think that's why like I'm very sensitive to certain things that happen in my relationship, that I do this and just break down, like even just talking about my feelings and stuff. Like I think crying is healthy. Oh yeah, for sure, but I just hate that I do it all the time. Like I can't like talk to Rachel about some stuff like without crying, and then like if it's like her being upset and me trying to explain myself and me just breaking down, then like she feels like, oh, now I'm making her sad because I'm mad. And it's like, it's not really that type of situation. It's more just, this like inner child. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I always had to explain myself. I always had to like make sure everybody like knew that I was good, that I wasn't going to do anything and stuff like that. And even now, like I'm fucking 22. I still have a fucking curfew. Like I can't go out like super late. Even with my own family, like they're like, oh, you need to be home. And it's like, they don't do anything like to punish me, but it's just like that. It's almost like the curfew is a punishment itself, because it's taking away. Exactly. And it also, I'd imagine it feels like they don't trust you. Yeah. And I always tell them, I'm like, I don't understand, because they like, they've let my brothers like at a super young age when I wasn't allowed to do this stuff. And I'm like, I'm grateful that they get like to do this stuff when they were young, because like me, if I was that age, I would want someone like me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm glad, but I'm also so frustrated that they couldn't see that for themselves. Like they know how to like, they know how they were when they were kids. Yeah. They were so much fucking worse than me. They were sneaking out and drinking. Obviously, it was another country, but it's like, even their parents were like, don't go out and drink. Like, don't like hang out with these people. Yeah. Yeah, they did that, and they still don't understand, like now. That you're doing so much better than that. Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't go out drinking. Like, I don't have like a bunch of fucking people that I sleep around with. Like, my friends are like, dude, like you and Ariana, Riley, and Miranda's a fucking teacher. Like Reese is fucking a theater kid. Like I don't hang around with anybody that like is bad. No one has gone to jail. No one has like in trouble like that. So I don't understand why they still don't trust me. Yeah. And like, I guess to tie that back to a relationship, it's like sometimes when like I say certain things and they don't believe me or like stuff like that, I'm just like, but I do this, and then like I like get very defensive because I'm like, I don't want to go through this again.
Yeah,
like I already
because you
go
know
through
how
this.
it feels, and
yeah.
Do you feel like it's because you're a female?
I definitely think so, because even I've like, at least with my parents, I've told them like, why do you let my brother go out to the fucking gym at 10 o'clock at night and I can't go? They're like, oh, well, you're a girl.
It'll be past your curfew and he's allowed to leave the house.
Yeah.
So he's not even already out and not home yet. It's like that's really crazy.
Yeah. And like, I guess I understand, like, he's been going to school, like he's doing his own thing, and like he's actually passionate about what he does, but I'm like, I can't find anything to do.
Yeah.
And it's like hard for me.
I don't think that's
like,
any indication of your responsibility.
Yeah. And I think that they think that.
Right.
Because like my mom didn't go to school like when she was young. She's going to school now like to learn English, but it's like, and even then, like when she's struggling with stuff, I'm like, do you see how hard like it is to do this? I'm like, you're going to work, and like we used to go to school every day.
Yeah.
We had like 7 different subjects that we had to do.
Yeah.
And you're like going to school and going to work and taking care of your kids. Like I understand those are big responsibilities, but it's like you like when we were younger, you wouldn't understand how this felt. And even which I'm confused on why my dad too, but I think my dad has his own trauma with his parents, that they were very strict on him, especially he was the oldest as well. So he like had to do all of what I did, and that's why sometimes I'm like, why do you do this to me when you know how it felt when you were younger? And
do you feel like it's some sort of like, not revenge, but he feels like he's like, I had to go through this, so I want somebody else to, like, maybe even subconsciously.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
He feels hurt, so he wants to take it out.
No, for sure. I definitely think it's like that type of situation sometimes. And I like tell him straight to his face, like, now I can actually speak up, you know, and like actually tell my parents, like, do you realize that this actually hurt all of us? Like, it's not just like you being angry. Like, yeah, you got angry, you got your shit out, but now you're putting that pressure on us. Yeah. Like, it's always like a thing. And even with my like brother and his girlfriend, like I've seen them like get into arguments, or my brother talks about arguments, and I'm like, that's literally what I do, what my dad does, what my grandpa does. It's like,
you see the correlation.
Yeah. And then that makes me so frustrated, because I'm like, we need to like stop it, because it's not healthy. Like, it's obviously doing a lot of damage to us, not only to us but our partners. You know, like putting now that pressure on them. It's spreading. And so I'm like, that's like not okay. And I even tell my brother, I'm like, dude, you need to figure out a way to get out of this, because first of all, you're hurting yourself by doing this, and also your partner. Like, now they're feeling that way, and they already have their own issues at home. Like, you don't know what they're going through at home.
That's true.
You know? And I like, and even then, like, he kind of like was like, oh shit, like, you're right.
Like a wake up call.
Yeah. And then like and that's the pressure that I have, again, putting on me to stop that from my cousins or my brothers.
It's like a vicious cycle.
And it's like, I feel like even when I do have a break, I'm like constantly thinking like, oh, like my cousin had this, like I need to go talk to her about that, or like,
so you never really get a break.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like putting that pressure of a relationship on top of it, where it's like someone else's feelings that you're caring for, like trying not to hurt. It's definitely like, it's like even more on top of that. That sounds really hard, and I feel like it's very commendable that you handle it so well, because I've never like, I don't have that same family dynamic where I'm kind of like, in my immediate family, I feel like I've carried certain burdens and stuff, but like cousins and you know, stuff like that, like to add a relationship like you're saying, and on top of that, like, sounds tough. And I'm very grateful to have like that relationship, even with my brothers, because like my dad and his brothers don't have a great relationship either. And it's like, my aunt even told me, she was like, I'm glad that you guys still hang out, even if like the adults don't want to hang out together. Like, I'm glad you guys still make an effort to do game nights, to go watch movies, to go out to like a park or something, because that like shows that you guys want to be together. You know? And like, we definitely like have our own issues too between us, and you know, people get annoying and stuff, and like me and my cousin Oscar, like, because we're the like adults, we're the ones that are always like, okay, like, you guys need to figure your shit out, because this is not okay that now you're just upset because your mom said something, and now you're like bringing that on us. Like, that's not our problem. Like, we can talk about it and we can help you through it, but don't be mad at us for something that your mom said. And again, that too, me and my cousin, I feel like he definitely has that pressure too, coming from other people, and even himself. He's very hard on himself. And like, even with his relationships, we were talking about this yesterday too, he was like, I don't think I'm ready to be in a relationship with the like situations I have with work, with doing all this stuff. I don't have time for anybody else. He's like, I don't want to put that burden. He's very self-conscious, like, about hurting other people. So he's like, I don't want to put people through this. I'd rather just not talk to them and be alone and like do my own thing with my friends. I'm happy with my friends and stuff like that. And but yeah, it's like, I feel like it's always like something with my family. And you know, I'm grateful to have my family. We're very close, but sometimes I'm just like, dude, like, if you guys don't like each other, just fucking get away. Like, there's no reason to keep trying when even like the adults act like children, like, are just fighting and like, well, you did this, well, you did that, like, you said this. It's like, what are you guys solving?
Surface level.
And
like,
not you guys
productive.
aren't solving anything. Like, you're just saying, like, putting the blame on everybody else. And it's like, I see that everywhere, and I try so hard not to bring that into my relationship, and yet even that is very hard. So it's like, I'm always like on the edge of like literally everything.
Well, I think there's a definite, like, there should be an acknowledgement in your relationship, and even for yourself and from your family, like, any relationship that you're in, like, of how hard you're trying to break that cycle and those bad habits. Because it's a, like, some people are just not aware of it. And if you're not aware of it, you can't try to fix it, because you're not even aware of what's going on. So I think that's really good. And like, it's not easy. So like, the fact that you're even trying to put a stop to it, I think that's really good. I'm very proud.
Thank you. And yeah, like, I feel like I try and like not talk about it, because I don't want Rachel to be like, oh, I feel bad, maybe I shouldn't say this, or maybe I need to keep these feelings to myself, so she doesn't have that pressure like on her again. And then that's how, like, then I bottle myself up. And it's like, because I don't want to put that on her, but yet, like, there's no way I can keep it all in.
I've dealt with something similar where like Fern will like offer like suggestions of ways I can do something better, and I feel like I've gotten better at how defensive I've gotten about it, but I would take it as like an insult and not take the critiques well. And like, I'd kind of come down from it and go like, no, like, I love your, you know, your critiques and your, like, how helpful you're being, like I'm sorry for, you know, not taking it graciously and going, I'm lucky to have that. And like, there was one time where we went to Target and like we were leaving the parking lot, and he said like, oh, like, I'm not even gonna say this because I know how it's gonna go. And it's just like, oh, like, I think
I definitely do that too sometimes.
It's hard, but I think at this point he knows that like sometimes it'll get to me. Even now, like, sometimes I'll be like, I need a break from the comments. And he knows it's just like, you know, 30 minutes or something of like, because sometimes it's a lot. Like, I think the defensive came from a place of like, I felt like I wasn't doing well enough. And so he's like, you know, you don't have to, like, he'll comment on, I mean, it's like anything, like eating habits, you know, mental health habits. And so like, it like almost sometimes makes me feel like it's parental. Like, I'm the kid and he's the parent saying like, oh, you should be doing it like this. But it definitely took some understanding to be like, okay, he's just trying to help me.
Yeah.
Like, because he cares and loves me and whatnot.
I feel like I definitely do that too with Rachel. I'm like, well, you can do this and it'll be better. And it's like,
yeah.
Even then, like, it's kind of like the mansplaining thing where it's like you're telling someone how to feel, how to fix it, but sometimes they just want to be in their feelings and process it on their own and not someone tell them like, well, you can do this and it'll be fixed really fast.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm like, it's my way. It's not my way or the highway, but sometimes I'm like,
you don't know
just let me be
anything
wrong
else
about this one.
Yeah.
Like not that he wouldn't let me, but I definitely am self-aware that I need to like just take those with like
a grain of salt.
What a good way. Bye. But like, I think I'm just more self-aware now that I just need to take those and realize the intent behind them. Like, he's not trying to be malicious at all about it. And I think it takes, I feel like there's maybe something from my childhood about like, or even just like past situations, like wondering if does someone have an ulterior motive with what they're doing. So I'm like, you know, why is he saying that? Is it because he thinks I'm not good enough or this or that? Like, there's a lot of, with OCD, there's a lot of reassurance seeking.
Yeah.
So like there's been, and it attaches to anything that I care about. So my values, my relationships, like, so I think that's why there's been it's such a big thing for us to have like been navigating OCD so far together.
Sure. Yeah.
And like, I told him on our third date that I had OCD, and like, I think I've mentioned this before. I'm like, little did you know, like, like how much you'd be learning
like
about it.
Like, you thought it was like colors and shit. Like, no, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, I need those pencils to be in a line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, no.
But I think that is a whole other conversation of how people just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a beauty in that, but there's also like a harsh, like oh my God, that was so gross. I'm gonna cut that out. Wait, there's like a beauty in that, but there's also a harshness to it. Where people rush to judgment before understanding. Fern said something recently he said like, people just need, instead of focusing on who's right, we just need to understand each other better.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm like, that is so, like, that one totally just like stuck with me. And like many things he's said have. And I think it's so important to think about that and go like, we're all like, we have no idea what's going on here. Yeah. Like,
all of us are learning.
We're learning as we go. Yeah. And everyone has a different situation. And I feel like it's toxic to navigate life as if you know everything. Yeah. You know? And I think once you kind of dive into yourself and go, why am I not saying you specifically, but just people in general, like, why am I acting this way? What can I do to understand my mindset better, my just how I am, who I am, and also do that to other people. I think that's so special when like there's a deeper understanding there. It never has to be full. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it ever can be full, because there's always new situations and stuff like that, but as long as there's an effort there, and I think you're doing a great job of that, of like, thank you, like trying to understand I don't know like what other, I think that's like, there are definitely responsible people out there, but I think our relationships, I feel like they're at least somewhat unique in the way that like the age between the two partners in our relationship adds up to like a number in the 40s, the low 40s. So it's like, obviously, you know, it's not 30 and 10, but
hopefully not.
But I think the level at which we dive into our relationships and like try to understand them and navigate them maturely, like I think that's something that's not found very often.
Yeah.
I think people are in their, college lives, like there's a number of reasons, and I think it's important to kind of step back sometimes and go, like I'm doing a pretty
like we're still
good
young.
job. We're still young.
We still don't know everything.
Yeah.
We still like don't even know ourselves fully.
Yeah.
We're always changing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely,
they say every 7 years you become a different person.
Yeah. And I was telling Rachel the other day, I was like, I think I've just been like fucked up right now because I haven't changed my room around. Because every 6 months I used to like switch my room because I hated.
That shit is refreshing.
No, for sure. And it's like, it feels like something new.
Yeah.
And like.
And it's your environment.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, now I have like something else to do, get my mind off of it.
Yeah.
I can do a deep clean. Like a lot of the times, like when I do get very frustrated or like mentally foggy, it's because my room is messy. It's because like I have shit all over the floor and I can't walk and I hate that shit. So it's like I'm just making it worse for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if I clean, I'll get my mind off of it. I'll like can just listen to music, listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Like clean my room and then just I'll feel so much better afterwards. I can just lay down and relax.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to worry about. Like this is not one of the things that's going to be on top of it.
Yeah.
And
which like I think it's like there's always stuff to get done.
For sure.
I feel like for you it sounds like there's like always a never ending list of things.
Yeah.
And it's like there's always something you could be doing, but it's important to go, I'm gonna do that later. Like I'm gonna pause and take some time for myself. And I think it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if nobody really understands like why you're doing what you're doing, because you know what's best for yourself. And I think that it only gets that action of saying I'm going to stop and take some time for myself only improves when you understand yourself better and you go, okay, this is an indication of I need to take a breather.
Yeah. And I feel like I definitely know myself a lot in that aspect, that when I'm like, oh, like there's something wrong, like what is it that's making me act out like this? And then I'm like, oh well, this happened and then this, and then my room's not clean and then I have this to worry about. And I'm just like, that all makes sense. So if I can just do one thing, it'll make me feel like more in control of what else
whether
is
it's
going
a small
on.
step or a big step. Like I was just talking about this yesterday. I was like, in terms of OCD, but it translates to so many different areas. Like a small step in the right direction is better than going backwards, and it's also better than staying put. So like even though you like could say to yourself like it's a small step, it's like it's much bigger when compared to where you could have chosen to go.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. We're just having like a therapy session.
Literally.
Which is nice sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that we're doing this on this episode.
Yeah. We were literally talking about oh my God. Literally before this, we were like, oh, we just need to like cry on the podcast.
We said that today.
Yeah, literally right before this. So that's funny.
Yeah. And I think, like it's not even necessarily always a choice, like how big of a step you take, but
yeah, for sure.
But like when you have the ability to choose at least sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that's why I think it's important to at least do that, because like then you feel like you're in control of at least something.
Yeah.
It's not everything is out of control. It's like now you have this physical thing that you can hold on to. You can make better. You can do as you please with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because it's the way that you want it. And then everything else you can kind of be like, okay, like I see, like if it's an issue with like your partner, you'll be like, okay, I see this person's side.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And even like I said, I feel like cleaning your room, at least for me, I think a lot of people should do this, to be honest, because it's like, it's kind of true. This is your own space.
Yeah.
And if it's messy, like your space is messy, then I feel like sometimes like it makes your mind so foggy, so like out of control, because it's like what else is out of control, you know?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like
People say that, you know, your environment is a direct reflection of your mental health, and I think
for sure,
like it's empowering when you do have control over something. I was just like, I was talking to you about this earlier, but yesterday I just like I was not feeling good for like the beginning portion of the day. Like it was kind of, Fern said, like, it's like a switch flipped in you. And I was like looking back, I'm like, that is kind of how it felt. Like I've never had like this just like degree of a rapid shift like that. Like it was so new. I literally like was just like kind of moping around mentally, like in my thoughts, in my head. And then I just was like, I'm going to put on a cute outfit. And I was saying out loud, like, I can, like, this is my fucking life. Like, I can live it how I want to, like, you know, and like, since yesterday, like, I've said like a lot of different things out loud that are like empowering. And like the whole, like, I don't know what I was doing before I started recording, but like I had like a shower thought in the car. Like I was like, just kind of like, because sometimes I'll record on my phone like a video and I'll be like just talking about like how I'm feeling. And I just started doing that, and it turned into like over 30 minutes of me. It was like a fucking TED talk. Like I was like talking to myself and like talking to just like as if I was giving advice to other people. Like it's like so important to, and it felt so empowering. It's so important to just like, you know, just, I don't even know. Like I was touching on so many different things, and like understanding, and it was a lot about OCD too. And I think it's really good to have those self-talks for me. Yeah. And like when Melisa walked into the apartment today, there's like Post-its all around the walls in the apartment, and each one says disregard, because like this is like, it's random, but it's like another way that I'm like, last night we were settling into bed, and I was like, no, I need to put those Post-its, because like I'm not gonna let that, I'm there. I literally said, I was like, there's no tomorrow. Like I like suddenly got like very disciplined, and like I'm like, okay, I need to keep this up, because like, I can't be like disciplined for a day. But yeah, like a week ago today, I had like a very like good therapy session. Like I told my therapist, like, I feel like I usually start out by saying I'm good, and that's kind of like how it goes through the session. But like I told her, I was like, I'm really struggling, like, and I want to incorporate that into the session and just kind of get that out into the open. Yeah. And she was like, well, thanks for saying that. And then like the session just felt more helpful from there on out. And we did like a breathing exercise. But this whole tangent art, like it started on like the topic of empowerment. I think just like understanding yourself and making decisions on your own, because I feel like I do have a lot of codependent behaviors when it comes to my relationship with Fern. And yesterday I was feeling in a good way, an absence of that, like not fully, but just like not doing it as much. And I was like, that feels great. Yeah. Like to not be relying on somebody else to make decisions about myself. So yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah. Well, yeah. We end every episode with Media Monday, where we tell you some media we've been consuming this week. Monday media. Melisa, what is your media for this Monday?
Me and Rachel have randomly she started watching it, but I watch it like once in a while when I'm with her. But we've been watching a Switched at Birth.
Oh shit!
Dude, is
that a reality show?
No, it's just like it's kind of like Pretty Little Liars, like all that stuff. But it's actually really good. It's like actually really good.
How far are you into it?
I actually don't know. Just because she watches it on her own, and then we get together, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to watch it," and I just ask her questions, and she'll just like tell me like what's going on.
Oh, she'll update you.
Yeah.
That's cute.
But and then there's something else. Oh, I've been watching a lot of YouTube recently for some reason.
You don't watch YouTube usually?
I usually don't. Just because I like go through cycles where I'm like, okay, I've watched too much of this person. Like
me too.
I watch Drew and Enya and Josiah, like all that group, like religiously. Like whenever they post a video, I will watch it.
Really?
Yeah. Every Friday, I'm looking forward to that fucking podcast. And
damn, you're a loyal follower.
No, it's like lit as fuck. I love him. But
shout out to you, Drew and Enya.
No, for real.
And Josiah and Jedediah and Jeremiah.
Yeah. But I've been watching them like every week. I always watch them. And then Stephanie Sue, I don't know if her YouTube is actually Stephanie Sue. It's also like Miss Mango Butt. I know, it's really random, and she's super high energy.
Both legal names.
Yeah. She's super high energy. She's a person that with her husband and are super cute.
Yeah,
together.
I remember you mentioning her.
And I don't know, they're them together, and they have a really nice family dynamic too. And like they're Korean and Chinese, so they have like they obviously I feel like every like culture has a very like strong like family dynamic. But theirs is just really cool to see with her sister and stuff in it. I don't know, it just makes me happy like watching all of them.
She's a vlogger.
Yeah, she vlogs. She does like murder podcasts.
Oh,
she does like baking a mystery where she like reads this book and like baking stuff.
That's
and like
fun.
telling you about the book.
Oh,
it's like I've been listening to her for
like
a while.
A little friend.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like
it's
when
really
people do
nice.
like eat with me on TikTok. I feel like it's the same vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Bake with me.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot. That's what I've been watching.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Mine is Soundtracks. It's a book. I have not read like any of this. I read the little inside here, and then I read like a few pages in the beginning. But so that's why I recommend the entire fucking book. But
I mean, if the beginning's good, I can't imagine the rest of the book would be bad.
Yeah. All the pages are just blank after that. All right, I'm done with it. But yeah, Fern showed me this book last night. It's called Soundtracks: The Surprise Solution to Overthinking by John Acuff. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I think, this is like, I'm not a reader, but I feel like Fern may be slowly changing that in me.
I've been like wanting to start to read, but I cannot read.
Have you tried like audiobooks along with reading, or just listening to the audio?
I have, but it's like that is good. Like I can follow that, and I used to do that in high school with like all the books that we had to read, because I couldn't read and actually understand what was going on. Like I had to read the same fucking sentence 3-4 times.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
that's why the audio helps me, and I feel like it's a great way to unplug and unwind at night. Like if you want to, because they say the blue light like in your phone,
for sure.
I mean, there's filters for that, but like I feel like a phone still keeps
bad,
you up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great way to kind of fall asleep.
There's this I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like when you're reading it, this app I think that bolds out the first two letters and like the last letter.
Oh yes,
I can't remember what it's called.
Oh my god, what is that? No, we need to find this. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen that on Twitter a few times.
Drew was talking about it on the podcast, because he's like, I can't read stuff like regularly. Like I need that to like help me actually read and like the words out. And he did it, and like I looked something up about it, and then Rachel even sent it to me, because I've told her like I'm very bad at reading. She's very good at reading. But I was like, this would literally help me so much. Like I could actually read books if they were
bionic reading.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
That like I literally tested it when I saw that Twitter post, and like it totally worked.
Yeah.
And I did feel like I was also retaining the information.
Exactly.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like, because your mind is actually like being like, okay, this word.
They probably
this word,
have
this word.
certain books, or even like
I'm pretty sure they do like online
transfer it into like that type of text.
Yeah, I think they do.
I could finish a fucking book a day.
No,
Fern was literally saying like he used to not be a reader too, which I think is so interesting, because he is such a bookworm now.
Really?
And and now he's like Like it was so cute. Oh my God, this morning he like picked a book out like to bring to work with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm finishing like a book a day now. Like literally like every fucking day. Like he'll be like, oh, like it literally feels like every day.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like, oh, like I'm about to finish this book.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. And like the books are like thicker than this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
what
sure.
is this? Probably like fucking 200 pages. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like 200 pages. It's wild.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I
Proud
definitely
of my
want
boy.
to start because like I feel like my brain's just kind of rotting away on TikTok and shit. So I'm just like,
Low-key,
I need
me
to
too.
do like something
Yeah.
to actually like make my brain work.
Yeah.
But like I do like a wordscape on like the phone.
What's Wordscape?
It's just like it has like a jumble of word like letters, and you just kind of have to like choose like what order, and then it makes different words.
It's like 90-year-olds playing like crosswords.
No, literally.
And keep their brain going.
For real. And then I do like word searches on my phone too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I don't do any of that. I literally just.
And I play solitaire a lot.
Do you really? Damn.
Rachel gets so annoyed.
Bitch is a smart cookie.
Rachel gets annoyed because we'll be like at the store and I'm very much like a man, like on my phone, just like scrolling.
A man?
Yeah, like in a straight relationship. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like I actually do though.
Yeah.
Like straight men. There are no good straight men out there.
No. But I'm just kind of like I'm walking behind her because I mean she looks at clothes. She likes shopping. I go shopping with her because she likes shopping. Whatever.
I love like any errand or anything.
Yeah.
Like please come with me.
Yeah, and so I was like sitting like behind her and like she would be asking me questions and I'm very bad at multitasking. So I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm listening to you, but I'm totally just spaced out. And then she gets mad because I'm playing solitaire.
Does she ever quiz you? I've quizzed Fern a number of times.
Yeah.
We're like, what did I say?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then I
because I'm like,
fucking say.
oh yeah, that's cute. And she's like, you didn't even look at it. Like, what did it look like? And she
Yeah.
like hide it.
Fern
I'm like,
looked away
"Bruh."
last night when I was trying to show him something. I was like, it wasn't done. It was a video.
Oh.
Like he was like, no, I saw it. I was like, not the whole thing.
Dude, yeah, she does that
Dude.
to me.
Dude.
Yeah, she does that to me.
I
but-
feel like, side note, this is like a whole nother episode, but like, I feel like the reason like behind the straight men and stuff being more common is because like gay people have to fight more to even get a relationship. So when they have it, they savor it more.
You're
That's
onto something.
Bye.
Yeah, literally, bye.